What's going on, Soul Tribe? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here. You know what? Before we even get into it, looking at you, Virgo. Virgo. There it is. Happy birthday, Virgo. Are you ready to kick it off, Virgo? I hope you're getting pumped. You know what? This is the time to just really, really bring it, Virgo. But happy solar return if it is your birthday today. Happy solar return if you have a birthday coming up this week. My partner actually has a son in Virgo. I actually know quite a bit of Virgo sons. Virgo has been a very active part of my life, interestingly. Virgo suns, Virgo moons. I don't think I know any Virgo risings. I'm gonna have to fix that. But yes, happy Virgo season. We're coming into the mix here. It's exciting. The sun's just getting ready to change over sign. So this is a new area of your chart that's getting ready to get lit up. So actually, we'll get ready to, before I jump into that. If you're new here, my name is Justin, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. And one of the many things I do on this channel is I talk about the weekly forecast that's coming up to get you prepared for the energies. How do you want to work with them? What do you want to, what intentions you want to put out there? Because I believe that it's not about the astrology's happening to you. There's big energies. So how you want to ride the wave? How do you want to, you ready to catch this big one? Is this your big break? So that's how I like to work with the energies here. And yeah, it's going to be a good old time. So I'm going to be covering the week of the 22nd through the 28th. And we have a pretty lighter week this week in terms of the transit. So because of that, we're going to pull up a nice little chart here. Look at that to get a picture of the sky. And get out there and take a look at the sky when you get a chance here. But I set the day for... we have three transits that I'm going to be discussing today, and I set it for the middle one here. There's going to be we have Venus and Mars that are squaring, but let's talk about the Sun entering Virgo first, because as you can see here, I'm going to circle that shining sun, so bright. The Sun entered into Virgo, as it was going to enter into Virgo on a Jupiter day, the 22nd of August, at about 7:55 a.m. And oh, that's going to be Pacific time, and I did not verify the other time, so that's all right, we're going to do a little math. But yes, with the Sun entering into Virgo, whenever you have a planet transiting into a new portion of your chart, you want to look at the theme as what's going on to there. The Sun is bringing new light and wanting to bring light to that area. And so like, for example, this is going to be moving into my second house. So I'm thinking about, okay, my livelihood, thinking about my finances. And I have been, I got some ideas that I'm going to be start cooking up here soon. I already got one that's in the mix. And actually, while I'm speaking about it, if you all are, since we're getting close to that Virgo full or Virgo new moon that's coming up, I have a new moon group that I have started up. It's going to be on September 2nd. I have various time slots available for you, and it's just setting intentions with the moon. It's going to be in a group of 4 setting. We look at your chart, see what are some themes that are coming up for you for each new moon. It's going to be working over a 27-month period. We're really investing in this here. I want this to be something where we're building this sense of community and we're promoting this long-term growth here. Not just we can have these monthly goals, but really setting things that are I want you leaving there knowing how to read your chart with a bit more confidence, hopefully a lot more confidence. And again, just being able to promote your services is a whole big thing. So if you have any questions about that, I have some links down in the description box there for you so we can talk about this. Or if you got your Sun in Virgo, you're wanting to know how this energy is getting ready to look for the year, we can book a consultation, talk about that. We can look for a solar return reading for you. Very fantastic stuff. Solar return can be really great. I'm actually looking at mine, and it's been... yeah, so far we're cooking. We're cooking along just nicely. But with this Sun in Virgo is the mutable earth sign. Virgo is their ruler is Mercury, and Mercury is the planet that is not only dignified but is exalted in Virgo. And Mercury will be getting back there soon. We're going to be having a lot of strong Virgo energy. I feel like Mercury's going to be cruising, but when we're thinking about Virgo energy, they have this ability to I feel like they can take the downloads that you get from Pisces, because in the traditional astrology they fall on that god goddess axis, and Virgo is associated with that third house. And I like to think about that as, of course, your relatives. That can be your communication. Your Virgos, of course, is very smart, mercantile energy, but also for this divine rights and the sacred rights that come into that. Divination falls into the third house, and so there is this being able to take the divine downloads and put them into acts of service, turn them into tangible things. Virgo, I feel, is very, very quick manifester. With that, especially having Mercury as their lord, they can figure out this realm very easily. They have a very powerful mind. It's like, okay, this plus that equals that. Okay, bet if I do this over a certain amount of time, I'm going to get this results. And so this could be a great time to really kind of look at where your life is needing some order. Look at your chart and see where this house is falling in. But this could be a great time to start up some new type of routine, starting some new rituals for you. Maybe you start going for a walk regularly. Maybe you start changing up your diet, working in more, kind of cooking more of your meals. Maybe you start whatever you want to start. This is a great time for that, and to get into a nice sense of routine. Again, because Virgo is a great time too to really help you get connected with the body again. Because when you think about those divine rights, I'm thinking about those kind of like those who would take care of like temples and take care of like the hearth and things along those lines. The body is a temple, and Virgo is a great way for you to get back in touch with your body, especially if you've been feeling very subjective, if you've been feeling like there's just a lot of emotional things that you've been doing. Just getting into those daily rituals can really help you get out of your mind too sometimes when it comes to you. And that's something with Virgo too. Now that we're under the sun is under the dispositorship of Mercury, things are going to move a bit more up into the mind, so we want to be mindful of your nervous system as well. Virgo is one that can be a bit where it works strong in Virgo, or the Virgo energy is strong, it can work a little too hard and push itself a little too hard to try to solve a problem or to try to fix things or to try to, again, just always staying busy. So just making sure to balance that stuff out. You can be very productive, but you're still wanting to know the limits pay attention to the limits of your body as well. And this may not be something where you're I'm feeling a bit of resistance here, but it can be an opportunity to open up to something more. Because I say that because this next transit here, we have the lovely Venus and the mighty Mars. They are forming a square with one another. Now a square, and this is going to be happening at about 8:20 p.m. And this is Venus is in Virgo and Mars is in Gemini. Now when you're thinking about the square aspect, that is Martian energy. It's one that promotes action. It can bring about frustrations. It could bring about this tension possibly, but I like to think of it as something to get motivated for. It's like, all right, where am I feeling friction? Where am I feeling, or maybe even, I feel like even you could try to turn it into like something exhilarating, possibly getting yourself pumped up. Like, all right, I'm going to start this new walking routine, and then, man, I'm going to feel all this energy. I'm going to feel all these things, but it might be, at first, I feel like that Mars and Gemini has that duality side, so you might just be focusing on I have to get up and I have to switch around this every day, I have to do this, I have to do that, making something a bigger deal than it needs to be, maybe even overthinking it, because both Mars and Venus are under Mercury's lordship, and Mercury's still retrograde, as you can see here. So Mercury's playing a very powerful, is under a lot of responsibility under Mercury right now. And what I feel this could be, instead of looking at it as just like try looking at it again from more of an exciting place. Like, okay, let's say if you have to go, let's say your doctor told you that you need to get out more, moving more. Okay, maybe you can invite your relatives to do something with you, maybe get the family involved, or maybe you can go to your neighbor and say hey, I got to do this thing anyway. Maybe you just get caught up, or maybe you happen to see them do it, and maybe you can be like, hey, do you mind if I join you on this thing, build this this sense of community. That could be really cool. Or whatever this thing that you can get started up, this just seems like this could be a great time with how busy Leo season was. It's just like this is a great time to kind of reorient yourself. Like, okay, I really processed a lot. So and this is where I want to go forward. Now, the last transit here is we have that Mercury retrograde is going to be forming a sextile with Mars. And that's going to be happening. Mercury will be at 22 degrees and 48 minutes of Leo, Mars in Gemini. And this is happening at, this would be at about 9:31 p.m. So, and again, that's Pacific time. And when we're thinking about the sextile energy, let me actually draw that for you. I'm getting all caught up in the energies. Let me show you where everything's at. There's that Mercury, and then there's that Mars. We'll do it in blue. I like that. And, I don't like that. Let's try that again. But the sextile energy is when the planets are 60 degrees apart from one another, and it brings about this exciting energy. Both of them are in this masculine energy, and that is more active when we're talking. I don't mean more like masculine, like manly, more so masculine as in just this is a time to, if you want to start something, this could be, I feel like the results for these new changes, these conscious changes that you make can be more beneficial than you think. You say, let's say you cut out, let's say like fast food, you're cooking more of your meals, and then you are noticing like, wow, I do have much more energy. Wow, I'm noticing that I'm sleeping more or sleeping better, or, that I don't feel as cranky or not feeling as sluggish. There's this opportunity here to like maybe, if I was able to do this, maybe I can take this thing a little bit further. And I'm even thinking too, this Virgo energy is giving me something about taking that skill out into the community, even if it's just not necessarily doing this for someone, but just talking about it. Like, I find when people are saying like, I have trouble sleeping or I have trouble this, I was like, one thing I like to do, if you're curious, like I've tried to work with this tea, and then open up with an offer, and then see if they're curious about it. See if they want to explore that a little bit more, maybe get some references, get some sites. Virgo can be very helpful. And so I just feel like this can be a really great week to shift mindsets here, to get to the state of excitement for a little bit, because they've got a lot of Mars energy that's happening here. And so I feel if we're on the more frustrated part of it, if we stay in that slump, then we're going to not necessarily miss, but it's going to be harder to see how we can get out of something if we're operating from this place of like, all right, I'm not sure, like, I'm not super amped about doing this, but, in the long term, I'm going to be able to maybe have more time to play with my kids, grandkids, however that may be resonating, or, I'm going to make more time. Maybe you're going to make more time to travel or get out more. Maybe you've been working a lot and you're just going to make time to just have maybe do some hobbies, do some sort of like crafting. Maybe you want to take a class or something along those lines. But this could be really just great for that too. Virgo, really trying to learn areas where you're maybe feeling weaker and where you can even make use of someone else's services, possibly. So anything to kind of help you advance yourself to pass that ability along. I feel like that's Virgo. It really does help it helps you, and it also helps the community too. It's very interesting. It can help the family, things that can pass along, which they'll pass it along to other people. It creates this really cool ripple, is what I'm really kind of seeing with these energies. So just some stuff to think about. Yeah, pretty short week here, but let this be the time. Again, like, especially if you've been feeling just kind of like, all over the place, maybe with this Pisces energy, this can be the time to get centered. Because I feel by the time the sun gets to Saturn, once the sun gets in that opposition with Saturn, I think that's really, you'll get a good idea of how you've been, where you're at is what I'm getting. And not in like a scary way, but if you're like looking for a marker, I would say around the time they get to that opposition, check in with yourself. really kind of check in then. Let that be a time like, okay, like, is how I've been going, has that been working for me? Or it's like, or do I really need to start making some changes? You know, is this really just not speaking to my soul growth? The sun is your inner light. The sun wants to bring life. It wants to build things. It wants to expand you. And it does so through these different lessons. It takes this time, this month at a time to nurture some of this stuff, to get you these new downloads for this area in your charts. And keep in mind too, if you have this, this is going to be activating those. If you got some mutable energy, you might feel a little tension there, but kind of balance that out there. We still got that Mars, that Mercury and Mars. It's like, all right, I got to do this thing, but we can do it. We can all get through this together, is what I feel this energy can bring. So I hope this week can bring you some support, get you the sense of like, all right, getting through the hump. Feel like the energies are kind of taking a break a little bit. So yeah, utilize this however you utilize this to your best abilities. So I thought I had something more profound for that, but it's somewhere in there. Until the next time, though, it'll probably be in the next video and future ones. But until next time, stay mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. Oh, and if you also, before we get out of here, if you have any Cancer placements in your chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, or if you just want to sync up, see what the lunar shenanigans are coming, or what lunar shenanigans are going on, come on over to my other channel, The Chariot Friends. I do videos every couple of days. Whenever the moon changes sign, a video's coming out. So, and it covers the sign that the moon is in. We go into the void, of course, if there's any sort of major aspect, that'd be the new moon, the quarter moons, or the full moon. And it's a great old time. So come over there. All are welcome, whether you have Cancer placements, or we all have a Cancer area in our chart to focus on. So there's a little something extra there for, but keep raising that vibration to the roof. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.